Question 26 is a question of comprehension. Although this is going to be a convention of supplements within our boundaries, all boundaries questions require clear understanding of the sentence, the paragraph, so that we can correctly address our punctuations. In 1986, conceptual artist Sophie Calle asked 23 people, all of whom had been born without sight, to describe their image of beauty in rich detail. So down here, up to this point, understand this artist asking people without sight to describe their image of beauty. So imagine what they're doing. You need to actually almost visualize that. Calle then paired excerpts of these conversations with photographs, both of interviewees and the items they described, from hair to grass to sculptures, to powerful effect in her exhibition, The Blind. So we have our options of commas and dash and colons and whatnot, but in this particular sentence that we're looking at, it is very, very important that you understand what she is doing with these interviewees and what they brought with them to this exhibition, that if you can correctly delineate the ideas, the phrases from one to the other, we can get through this question at ease. So both of interviewees and the items they described, okay, let's try to highlight them in with the similar items. Both of interviewees, both requires and, right? So both of interviewees and the items they described. This is one item, described, okay? From hair to grass to sculptures. Okay, let's take a look. From hair to grass to sculptures. Let's think about what these mean. As soon as you finish reading described, what do from hair to grass to sculptures mean? These are referring to the items they described, right? So this is like a sub idea. I'm going to put a yellow on all of them so that I'm not trying to choose one particular. So these are all pertaining to the items they described. So let's say that from hair to grass to sculptures is a sub idea under both of interviewees and items they described. Now going on to this part, to powerful effect in her exhibition, The Blind, you must understand that to powerful effect in her exhibition, The Blind, is a separated phrase from sculptures, just because hair to grass to sculptures are items they described, whereas to powerful effect in her exhibition, The Blind, is no longer talking about items, right? So we can see that this is another idea, another phrase that is that begins with too powerful. So going back to our choices now. I usually don't like applying process of elimination, but in cases of these really small punctuations that make a whole lot of difference, you do want to be very careful in choosing the answers. So clearing off, let me clear some stuff off here. So understand that both of interviewees and the items they described need to be separated one time. And then from hair to grass to sculptures is another one. But remember that these belong to the previous phrase. So it's both all the way to described, and then from to sculptures is another one, right? So I need to put a dash here because this is one big idea combined with our both of and the items here. So I'm going to put item phrase A, phrase B into our double dash. And so let's try to read, if assuming that this is a non-essential phrase now, let's read from Khalid paired excerpts of these conversations with photographs to powerful effect in her exhibition The Blind. So without understanding, without the details, the Khalid pairing excerpts of these conversations with photographs to she made the blending of conversation photographs to a very powerful effect. She turned them into a very powerful effect in the exhibition The Blind. So the first thing we need to address here is we got to close off this dash right before 2, and that would be our choice B here. Okay, so when you come across questions on boundaries, especially dealing with supplements, this is no longer a writing question. This is a comprehension question. Read and break off each phrase, even down to words, and read them carefully, analyze them, and then learn how to separate them with proper punctuations. So for question 26, our correct answer again will be choice B here.